If you have a winning wellness product that solves a problem and has at least a 50% average order profit, meaning the margin on your cost of delivery, which is your cost of goods and anything else that goes into delivering the product to the customer's front door, if you check both those boxes, then all you need is one successful video to scale up to 100K to $1 million a month. So in this video, I just want to show you what that actually looks like so you can start to understand the process and how this would apply into your wellness business. Because we see a lot of founders who are pulled in 25 different directions when it comes to scaling up. You know, there's PR, SEO, Google ads, meta ads, YouTube, influencers. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing, when really what I'd like to propose here and show you examples of is that the simplest path is just to solve sales and marketing with essentially one video. You don't need to have a huge budget to do this. The examples we're going to talk about here were all shot on an iPhone. So first off, just a quick example of the end result. Here we have a video ad. We spent $122K and it generated $372K, above a 3X, which is pretty solid. And this is over the course of a couple months. Here's another test that spent $40K and generated $138K. And this is just over the span of the first month that it was launched. And in this case, they actually ran out of inventory, which we'll talk about in another video. But I can show you quite a few different examples ranging anywhere from 50K to 300K spend at a 2 to 3X return on ad spend day one. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a version of a video that we can spend 100K, a few 100K, and get 2 to 3X back day one in sales. So the point is, if we can make one video very well, it simplifies the growth strategy in this stage of the business. And on the flip side, if we can't get this type of video to work, it's actually going to give us the feedback that we need in terms of what needs to change about the product offer or the business itself. Make sense? Because video is just a high leverage form of communication, right? It's allowing us to sell on a 1 to 1 million scale. Instead of having to sell 1 to 1 in person with someone, we can create a video and show that to millions of people. So let's talk about how to do this. What we need to do is first validate your product offer. We need to make sure that the product actually solves a problem, that you have that 50% average order profit. If you're not at that 50% mark, there are certain things you can do, like raise your prices, increase the perceived value of the product by positioning for specific niches. You can pass your shipping expenses on to the customer temporarily. You can figure out different ways to get your cost of goods down. And if you have a high subscription product or a super high lifetime value product, you might be able to get away with slimmer margins. But the first thing to do is to make sure that the product offer itself solves a problem for a specific niche. So if you've gotten in front of the market, you've managed to move some of your inventory manually, that's what we want to do first. And then use the least amount of budget possible to test and find a version of your video that converts at or above the break-even point of profitability. So to make this video, you need to gather the right raw assets, the right raw materials, and then you have an editor just spin up a bunch of different versions using this particular format. So at a basic level, there's a hook, there's the main part of the video, and then a close. And the hook, you're calling out to the niche in a way that gets them to stop the scroll. In the main part of the video, you're talking through the core value prop and the information about your product and your business. You're overcoming objections and then ending with a call to action. So the process is to get enough raw footage and coverage so that you can puzzle piece a bunch of different versions together quickly and find a winner in the mix. So this is a dynamic video ad, meaning it gets updated, it's iterated on, and jigsawed into different form. But all you're doing is bottling up all of the things that someone needs to see and understand about your product in order to make a purchase decision. So we're just compressing the whole sales process into a content piece. And this content piece isn't always just the ad. It might be on the product page or the landing page as well. But all it takes is one version to scale up. And typically it's version 3 or version 5 that is the best performing. So sometimes you get that winning version in the first week. Other times it happens after a few months. But if you do this correctly, the payoff is well worth it. And when you really nail down this winning format, you can spend less on testing and get to a winning version faster. You can also think of it this way. If you spent, say, 2 hours scripting, 1 to 2 hours shooting the raw assets, and 5 to 10 hours editing or getting your editor set up and providing them feedback, getting them integrated, let's call it 20 hours to have the assets to make 50 versions of your dynamic video. And one of those versions goes on to generate $300K or $500,000 in sales this year. Your hourly return on that 20 hours was $15,000 to $25,000 per hour. So the value for the time spent on making a winning dynamic video, it's a disproportionate return on your time. It's another reason why you, as the founder, as the person who knows the product the best, who is closest to the niche and understanding the niche, should actually be the one to craft that core messaging. You don't want to outsource a 15 to 25K an hour task to some junior level marketing person at an agency, someone who doesn't necessarily understand your product or your niche on a deep enough level. And that's actually what I found in one of my initial case studies when I was working in-house and helped a wellness company go from 30K a month up to the 500K a month mark. It was actually the founder who had the insights about the niche and really understood how to articulate the value of the product. I was just there to package that content and that information into the right format for ads, for the funnel. So that's a part of our process. We know which parts are okay to outsource and which are a worthwhile use of your time in this stage. But we have a shot list, a script list, and instructions for editors on how to make dynamic videos quickly and efficiently. But again, one video can make a massive difference. And if you understand this as a founder, and you understand the anatomy of what makes this work and how to bring these pieces together using just an iPhone or an in-house team, you'll have a major competitive advantage and be able to save a ton of time and costly pitfalls that happen when you just blindly outsource this to a marketing person or an agency. So really what you want to do is understand this process first, understand how these pieces come together, find a few winning concepts, and then we'll talk about building out an in-house team further or hiring an agency to actually manage things when the volume is higher. So here's what to remember. Video creates insane leverage, but it's not going to work if your product offer is bad or it's not validated. Iteration and testing different versions of your video is required. That's why we call it a dynamic video. And you can do this all in-house with an iPhone. You don't need a huge budget or a big agency to do these types of things. So we're Scale Wellness. We're on a mission to create a healthier, more balanced society by helping wellness startups find product market fit and scale efficiently. We're here to help show you what to do and what to ignore on the path to that first 100K to $1 million a month so that you can scale your solutions out to the market. So if you are interested in that, be sure to book a call with us, and we look forward to talking with you soon.